Hey y'all, it's my review for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, episode 20. Now last week, y'all know I was a little perturbed about how things went, but this episode, they fully made up for it, I'm happy to say. This was a really good ass mother effing episode. I wish I was on Patreon right now. So good, y'all. Sit back and relax. We got a lot to talk about. So we open the episode, but with Dorit. She's calling Kyle while she's on the set of Halloween Ends, and she's just filling her in on what happened at Crystal's birthday party in the last episode. Dorit lets her know that Rinna left early, most likely due to Kathy's presence because of what happened in Aspen. Kyle reminds us in her confessional that Rinna told her that Kathy was talking really bad about her, but she didn't give her any specifics, and she wanted to wait to tell her that in person. And Kyle said she might not be ready to hear this. I mean, her and Kathy just got back on good terms. It feels like Kyle has had an elevated relationship with Kathy and Kim her entire life. By the end of their conversation, it looks like Kyle's gonna have a sit down with her sister when she gets back. Next scene, we're with Erica at her house as she's on a virtual call with her therapist. She says she's been going to therapy for 3 years, and I say she needs a new therapist. She says ever since her life turned to shambles, she's been going to therapy more often. Again, I cannot tell. By the time in the middle of their session, Erica made sure to squeeze out that one tear on the corner of her eye. So now the producers are showing us a flashback of the good times Erica had with Tom, and then they show us the bad times. But the bad times is when they caught him at the table with Erica saying, "Excuse me, Erica. Pardon me, Erica." Like, it would be those one little slip-ups, you know? Just like Erica had slip-ups, such as when she went off on Eileen in Hong Kong. I will never forget that. That was the real Erica Jane that we saw. Her and Tom were both frauds at the end of the day. Erica just wasn't a criminal. And I have as much compassion for Erica as she has for Tom's victims. So next scene looks like Erica's putting on an event for the ladies at a venue. It's for her Pretty Mess hair. It's a pop-up shop. It's nice she didn't lose all her deals, but this is her own business. So it looks like Erica has press at this event, and this lady from People immediately asks her about Kathy's tantrum that basically leaked to the press. I wonder who leaked it to the press out of these ladies. I would think it's somebody with a big mouth or lips. Here go Erica line, "I do not know how they got this level of detail." Really? Really? Speaking of loose lips, Rinna arrives, and she looks really good. I love this hair on her. Any hair looks good on Rinna, but her original hair. So it looks like Erica invited all the ladies as well as their stylists. It's so crazy that everybody on this cast has a stylist. And I think it's amongst all franchises. And we have Erica Jane to thank for that. I mean, even though I don't care for Erica that much these days, I'd be a hater if I said she didn't elevate Housewives, period. So Cherie and Sutton arrive, and it looks like Sutton and Erica are still in a good place, thank God. I'm so glad that Sutton just gets a break this season. Now she could just chill like Crystal always is. Sutton was the topic of conversation for at least 70% of the season. I'm glad she could take a back seat to this Kathy mess. So our ladies are there with the exception of Kyle, who's filming, of course. Kathy's a no-show, and Garcelle is filming at the Real. Now, a little side note, I see Crystal, she's trying on pink hair. She's like, "Oh my God, I look like an anime character." And the whole little outrage of Heather saying the same thing about racist Jenny. So I'm just wondering, like, would it be different if like Cherie or Erica said, "Oh my God, you look like an anime character"? Just wondering. A little later, we see Erica and racist Diana chatting, and it just so happens that Elton John calls Diana. I'm sure this was staged, and I'm sure she had to let Elton know, "Oh, you're gonna be on camera." Anywho, aside from the fact that she's an annoying asshole, it's cool that she knows Elton John. Like the rapport that they have as I see them talking, like Diana is Elton's Judy. Thankfully, this is the only scene Diana has in the entire episode. Moving on. We then cut to Lisa and Dorit talking away from the other girls, and Dorit's just finding out like what was going through Rinna's head that night that she left. She's like, "I'm okay." When you really think about it, all that happened to Lisa Rinna was that Kathy Hilton spazzed out in front of her. Just had like a little manic episode. All this, "Oh my God, I have PTSD." She's laying it on thick, like a little bit too thick. Like, yes, hold Kathy accountable, but ease it on back a little bit. It's Rinna though, so she's always gonna give us 20 on 10 every time. Dorit tells Lisa that she actually spoke to Kathy after Aspen and she remembers everything and she was very apologetic for her behavior. Dorit seems like she's not as affected as Lisa is, and remember, all the ladies was there at the club and saw Kathy's behavior. So, Dorit got an apology and that's enough for her. But Lisa, she's not letting it go. She tells her, well, Kathy needs to talk to me, and also she tried to silence me. So then we cut to Lisa Rinna and she's reading the text message that Kathy sent her. And we saw like a little piece of this text. Y'all remember I had a problem with producers like cutting it out. We get the full text in this scene, so I'm satisfied now because I didn't like how they were cutting shit out. So it says, please do not say anything we discuss. Otherwise it will make a huge scene that everyone gets dragged into. No bueno. Bueno misspelled. It seems like Kathy didn't want to make a big deal out of her tantrum, but her biggest mistake was going off in front of Lisa Rinna, of all people, because Lisa Rinna gives no fuck. She will go there with you, she will take you down and drag you with her. Well, try to take you down. I mean, look at her list. Like Eden Sassoon, Lisa Vanderpump, Denise, Yolanda. The list goes on. Hell, Sutton. The text message continues and it says, please, it goes further than you would want to know. Silence is golden. I am staying silent. What I don't like about this is if she really liked Kathy, she would give her some grace. I'm sure she's heard Erica have a tantrum or three and she didn't hold her accountable or try to crucify her in front of other ladies. They're talking about a recent interview Kathy had on her live, and according to Rinna, she says she's lying. Kathy said that she wasn't screaming and throwing things, and that's not her. But in the last episode, Rinna said she was jumping up and down, stomping on her sunglasses, beating on the walls. Again, I would pay to see that. Lisa has a mission. She wants to expose Kathy Hilton. Child, now Messy Rinna as well as Dorit are bringing this conversation to the other ladies. Okay, so we are finally hearing what set Kathy Hilton off. And what set her off is the DJ did not want to play a song that she requested, which was Billie Jean by Michael Jackson. I mean, it is one of my favorite songs of all time, and it's Kathy Hilton. Why didn't she just like slip him 100 or something? But remember, y'all, the word no does not exist in Kathy Hilton's universe. So hearing somebody say no, especially a lowly DJ in front of her, it set her off. Now wait a fucking minute, Crystal. Now you were on my good side, and now you went straight to my shit list in 0.02 seconds. So we see Crystal telling Cherie, oh, I wouldn't request Michael Jackson right now. Now, I could see if they say R. Kelly, but why not Michael Jackson? And then she doubled down in her confessional saying that it's problematic to listen to Michael Jackson these days. And then she brings her age into play because the other ladies don't understand she's a millennial. Girl, I'm a millennial and I will continue to play Michael Jackson. If I could play Michael Jackson right now, I would play it. Now, I get it, the whole trial thing, but his situation is very much so different, especially compared to R. Kelly, where there is physical, very, very graphic evidence and countless victims who are black women, by the way. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck Crystal talking about, and after looking at Twitter, neither does anybody else. We're getting back to the Kathy story, and allegedly the manager told her to go back to LA. Whew. Yeah, I think I believe that Kathy Hilton said a few choice words. So then Erica says Diana bought him off for easy $200. She said that she was born into this game. I wasn't. Erica quickly corrects her and says she wasn't born into this. She married in. She married in. So matter-of-factly, and she ain't lying for once. And then she says we all married in. It's fine. Cherie even tells ladies that Kathy actually had a little mini tantrum at the hat shop as well. And then the people that weren't there, they're now connecting the dots. Especially Lisa, who I'm sure knew what she was doing in regards to drinking Kendall Jenner's tequila in front of her. So all she needed was this confirmation. So ladies are seeing a little pattern here that when Kathy Hilton doesn't get her way, she acts up. Act up, you could get smacked up. Act up, you could get smacked up. Hearing this information, we cut to Lisa in her confessional saying that Kathy is jealous of the Kardashian Jenners. Really? Because if there was no Paris Hilton, there wouldn't be any Kardashians. Well, you know what I mean, the fame and shit. Lisa's now telling the ladies that she didn't really say anything about her, but she definitely said things about Kyle as well as some of them. But she doesn't want to repeat it. She should have just said it. The shit has already been stirred. She might as well serve it out now. But Lisa Rinna has no problem saying what Kathy said in her confessional. She is really trying to take Kathy down. She said Kathy called Sutton and Crystal pieces of shit. They should be fired. She don't know why they're here. She then says that she called Dorit a stupid, useless idiot. Well, we're gonna move on from that. According to Dorit, though, she said Kathy told her she didn't say anything disparaging about her. Lisa tells the group that's there that she said something about everybody except for herself and Garcelle. We come back to Lisa's confessional and she is singing like a bird. Allegedly, Kathy said, well, I have to be around these people, these peons. I'm the best thing about the show. I have all these deals and I'm gonna ruin Kyle. Kyle! Then we cut to Crystal's confessional and she's recounting what happened. She spoke to Kathy too. Kathy said that she lost her temper and the producer's asking, well, did she say anything about anybody else or a meltdown? Crystal says that she didn't say any of that. The producer asks her, well, who do you believe, Lisa or Kathy? Crystal says Kathy. Some of the ladies are saying Kathy was supposed to show up to the event, but I'm sure with Lisa there, she was going to be ready to expose her in front of all the ladies, so that's why Kathy probably didn't go. And it looks like most of the ladies, they're ready to just drop it and move on, but Lisa, she on a mission. So next scene we're with Kyle. She's at home back from filming, and it looks like Kathy's about to come over so they can finally talk about what happened in Aspen. Kathy is still Kathy. So she's pulling up in the driveway. She gets out. She then just yanks some flowers in the front of Kyle's yard, goes up to the door, and when Kyle answers, she hands them to her. She is really a cartoon character. Why would she do that? Why didn't she just buy some nice flowers for Kyle? What was the reason? What was the reason? And poor Kyle, she's a nervous wreck before she even gets to the door. She says she'd rather eat glass right now than do this. Kathy walks in and it looks like she's ready to make peace. Literally, she has a shirt that says peace on it. So after some weird, awkward pleasantries between the two, they finally get into talking about Aspen, and Kathy immediately apologizes to Kyle. Kathy says she acknowledges her behavior and what she said, and she admits that she didn't think what she said would get back to her. You said that in front of Lisa Rinna. It's going to get back to everybody, including the audience. So this is interesting. Kathy acknowledges that she can be a space cadet most of the time. And now she feels insecure about it because now it's kind of being seen as a joke at her expense. And Kyle's like, well, I don't know why you're bringing this to me because we both joke all the time and you bring a joke really far. And production reminds us and shows how Kathy hid Kyle's very expensive purse. Kyle says in her confessional that she sees right through this and Kathy isn't mad about that. Kyle is really letting her have it for embarrassing her in front of the girls. And she says that this isn't the first time you went off on me in public. It's just this time it was in front of people. And when I say in front of people, in front of the cameras, I'm sure she didn't want to break the fourth wall. Kathy apologizes again, and now they're talking about when she was with Lisa Rinna and all the things she said. Kyle's like, why did you say those things about me? Kathy's now giving a laundry list of why she said what she said. She was tired, the altitude, wine, it was a Thursday, etc. Y'all, this is a very real moment. Like, from this moment on, the rest of the episode was riveting. Aside from the little Sutton and Erica meetup. So Colin lays it all out for Kathy. She says that for a very long time, she hasn't felt like she has support from her sisters, plural. And when she hears the things that Kathy said about her, it makes her think like, do you hate me? Kyle's voice is broken, shaken up, and this is a very real moment. I believe her. Even though Kyle needs to take some accountability as well. Kathy assures Kyle that she doesn't hate her, but Kyle's like, then why would you say those things? You said some really bad things. Kathy's like, Kyle? I had to, y'all. Ooh, this shit is some personal drama. I appreciate them for just letting us in. Like, I feel like I'm watching a soap opera. But to Kyle's point, like what Kathy said, whatever horrible things she said about Kyle, it had to come from somewhere. like, or just something she'd been having in the back of her mind. Kind of like with Salt Lake City, how Lisa and Meredith are really good friends, and Lisa had, that whole tirade against her, a soliloquy of slut, hoe, bitch, her family's fake and all that. That had to come from somewhere, and we'll get to that in my Salt Lake City review. But Kathy in this moment is trying to explain where her anger came from. Not the words though, but her anger. And she says, first, we don't really do anything. I'm guessing Kyle doesn't make time for her. Kyle's like, first of all, I work my ass off. The way she said it with such exhaustion, I believed her. Kathy says, I get that, but you gotta make time for family too. Kyle's like, I do make time for my family. And I think she wanted to say, my family, like Mauricio and her daughters. But she didn't say that, but it definitely implied that. Now, Kyle, I'm with you, but don't make it into a sob story. Woe is me, I don't have time because I'm doing all these jobs I have to. You're doing those jobs because you want to. You can chill if you want. I'm just trying to be fair. Kyle says, if somebody hurts me, I'm gonna have to keep them at arm's length, blood included. It's so dramatic. So now another excuse for Kathy's anger is Kyle never calls her, like they never have direct communication. It's so hard to get in touch with her. She says she feels like a pest to her. And then Kyle says that, well, whenever you call me, Kathy, you call to rant. Like, you don't ask me how my day is. You don't ask how I'm doing. You call to talk about yourself, and that's it. And she says, sometimes I admit that I don't answer the phone on purpose. By the way, I'm sure this scene is very relatable to siblings who have a history of not getting along. In this moment, I do believe Kyle because Kathy seemed like she's very into herself and, very used to people being at her beck and call. So she's probably used to Kyle being that way too. Kathy's doing her best right now to reassure to Kyle that she didn't mean those things that she said about her. Also in this moment, y'all, I feel like we got the real Kathy Hilton. Like, she wasn't a space cadet while they were arguing. She was very clear and concise with her words, which made me wonder, is the space cadet loopiness thing all an act? Much like her daughter Paris with the baby voice? Kathy then asks Kyle for a hug, and then they embrace, and Kathy's saying that she loves her. Kyle, meanwhile, has that look of a battered wife on her face, just wondering, is this going to happen again? We've been here before, countless times. Afterwards, Kyle asks Kathy has she spoken to the other women, and she says she spoke to everybody except for Erica and Rinna. Kyle tells her that Rinna's actually coming over so she can stay and talk if she wants. Oh boy, in the scene we're about to see, Kathy should have left when she had the chance. So it looks like we're taking a break from Kyle and Kathy. Next scene we're with Sutton at her house, and she's expecting a visit from Erica. We see in a flashback when they were on the jet that she invited Erica over. They just want peace between each other. I'm a little tired of the back and forth between Erica and Sutton, but this is like the third or fourth time they're trying to get back on the right page. I'm just like, can they just be cordial? They don't have to be buddy-buddy. When Erica arrives, we see that Sutton has bought Popeyes for the both of them. Now, it's not in the little boxes it's served in. She transferred it to her actual china, accompanied with Dom Perignon. Look, I'll take it. And some sweet tea on the side, and it better be Gold Peak. She didn't make it. She really had those French fries on fine china and putting the sweet tea in goblets. Where's the chicken though? I just see the sides. I see the biscuit and the fries. Why do I care too? We then get flashbacks of when Erica and Sutton were getting along, followed by when they weren't getting along, and Erica says in her confession that she's just tired of the back and forth. She wants peace, like Kathy Hilton. So it looks like they're having a cordial conversation, and Sutton asks Erica, I just want you to stop lashing out at people. Can you do that? Erica then makes excuses for it, like she's a victim, she's not being heard. Apparently the word victims, that's the V word she's talking about, is a trigger word for her because it implies that she did something wrong. Sutton then says it would just be great if you had some compassion or empathy in your voice. But then Erica, of course, her response to that is, well, I would like some compassion. It looks like Sutton isn't going to challenge Erica on saying she needs compassion, but they end the conversation on a good note. They agree to move forward, and they enjoy the Popeyes. So next scene, here we go. Lisa Rinna arrives at Kyle's place. And Lisa Rinna shows up in her signature Lisa Rinna hair. So already, as soon as Lisa walks into the living room, Kathy Hilton immediately apologizes. They don't hug, of course. They just, bow to each other a little bit. Kathy's, putting on a little humor. She wants everything to go smoothly. Poor Kathy doesn't know what she's in for. Wow, so then we see Lisa Rinna point out that Kathy is wearing the same shirt that she wore the night that she flipped out. It's a little weird. Now, I'm sure that she washed the shirt, of course. Well, not Kathy Hilton herself, but somebody on her staff. It's just a really big coincidence that it was the same shirt she wore the night she exploded. So the conversation starts civil. Kathy lets Lisa know she already apologized to Kyle and, for the things that she said. And she understands that Lisa's still grieving, of course, and she should have never said the things she said to Lisa, and she apologizes again. But boy, that Lisa Rinna, it's like someone just said, action. And here go Lisa. I was really shook. I've never seen anything like that. And I've certainly never seen you like that. Don't worry, y'all. I'm not going to reenact the whole thing. It's just Lisa Rinna, she's putting it on thick. The way she's talking to Kathy Hilton like she's some type of psychopath. Does Lisa Rinna think she's talking to Hannibal Lecter or somebody? When Kathy says, I don't really have a temper, Lisa's like, well, what would you call it? Lisa's even finishing her words for her. Like, Kathy's like, well, I lost my temper and just being, Lisa's like, cruel. Lisa came to play. She's like, look, if we're going to talk about this, you're going to have to own up to what you said. Not just about Kyle, but everybody. You said some mean things, some really fucked up things. This is why she is my top 5 housewife of all time. Like, I get it, she's putting 1,000 on 10, but nobody would come for Kathy Hilton like this on the cast. Only Lisa Rinna would come for her, and production knows that. If Lisa Rinna's gonna go out, she's gonna go out in a blaze of glory. This was iconic, y'all. Kathy looks so confused right now, and then Lisa tells her, I think you need to get some help. And Kyle is just sitting there in silence, letting it happen. But Kathy still kept her cool. She's continued the conversation and giving her reasons for why she blew up. So when Kathy finishes giving her laundry list of reasons why she blew up, she says, okay. And Rinna's like, is that your way of trying to shut me up? And Kathy's like, well, I feel like you can be pretty unkind too. And then, we're all thinking back to when Lisa lost her cool on her sister Kim in Amsterdam. And I said today on Twitter, and it was kind of controversial, I was like, Lisa was out of pocket then, but she was in the right. Like, it was Kim that was in the wrong in Amsterdam. I don't have time to go over that right now, but that's a whole other situation. But Lisa, too, has lost her temper many times throughout the seasons. And you would think that she would give Kathy some grace, but nah. She trying to destroy her. I mean, she should have just told Kathy, buckle up, bitch. Kathy continues to explain herself, and now she's getting choked up and looks like she's about to cry, saying that, well, there's some things going on. I'm just very sensitive about some things because I have a friend who's dying with cancer. Like, she's putting on the white women tears, but the thing is, you can't use white women tears against another white woman, because they just gonna do it right back at you, or it's not gonna work on them. Child, they are both acting right now. Kathy trying to get her an Emmy too. It's very upsetting. Kathy again apologizes, this time even more passionately, and saying that people have known me for 30 years. I don't act like this. Right afterward, Rinna's like, why are you looking at me like that? Kathy says, because you're looking at me like I have some type of problem. I'm in pain right now. I just want you to show me some compassion. Lisa Rinna is coming for blood right now. She's like, oh no, you're not gonna gaslight or manipulate me. If you wanna apologize, you let me know what you're apologizing for. What she's trying to do, she's trying to make her say what she said. I'm guessing it was the slur. It could be, but I don't think Bravo's gonna put it on here. And Kathy's not going to take the bait. Kathy is too smart for that. She wants to play dumb sometimes for us to get a laugh out of it, but Kathy's smart. Yep, Lisa just said it. Like, we're going to talk about the names you called some people. We could go there if you want to. Why can't Lisa Rinna just let it go, though? Like, everyone else doesn't have a problem with it, but that was Kathy's biggest mistake, letting her guard completely down in front of Lisa, like just going off, saying everything, because now Lisa's going to drag it out in front of everybody. Lisa's talking like she's a prosecutor and Kathy's on the stand. She's asking her questions, and do you know what I did, Kathy? Do you know what I did? I couldn't do that. If I was Kathy, I would have threw my water in her face and walked out. This is so intense. And what I think is so jarring, she's going real hard at Kathy. She's like, do you know why I locked my door? Because you were having a psychotic break. Kyle, say something. Say something. Like, reel it back in. We come to Kathy's confessional, and I agree with her. I don't see how anybody can scare Lisa Rinna, at least any of the women in this group. She is really trying to nail Kathy to the cross right now, and Kyle just watching. Kyle finally speaks up and says, she just feels so uncomfortable because they're both like sisters to her. And she just hates for this to happen and for it to go this route. I'm just saying, if Kyle is Lisa's friend, why would she do this to Kyle and put her in such an awkward position? She's kind of holding Kathy to a different standard than the other ladies because I'm sure, like I said earlier, if this was Erica, she would have dropped it. So then Kathy tries to end the conversation again on a good note. She apologizes again for the third time and just says, I'm glad we had this conversation and I'm just really sorry. But Rinna, she's twisting that knife. She's saying, but you gotta figure out where that hatred is coming from. You gotta figure out why you have a black heart. And she didn't ask her, did she have a black heart? She didn't make an insinuation. She declared. And that was just peak disrespect, and Kyle should have intervened right when she said that. And once Lisa said black heart, you can see the change in Kathy's face. After that, she tells Rinna, I'm not gonna have any more discussion with you. Rinna's like, oh, that's it? That's it? No more? I figured as much. What is wrong with her? At that point, Kathy gets up and heads for the door. Kyle wants to walk her out. We see Lisa Rinna with that look on her face. Like, it's iconic now at this point. I'm gonna use it as the thumbnail, y'all, but she's like, she know what she did. She know what she did, just like how she know what she did with the tequila. Wow. Diabolical. That is the word of the day. I think it was Lisa's main motive in this scene to get Kathy to admit what she said, the slur, alleged slur. Don't be coming after me. I don't want any seats with the sissies. The F word, the N word, what have you. So, Kathy wasn't going to play that game. Well, she saw the game that Lisa was playing, and she decided to end the conversation. So Kyle walks her out. Kathy managed to keep her cool, and she puts back the persona on. She's like, Kyle, these flowers are great. As Kyle is shutting the door. Kyle then says, fuck my life. Rinna is unfazed. She's like, well, that went well until it didn't. Rinna then tells Kyle that she has a lot of work to do with her sister and they can't just move on like it's nothing. Kathy needs some serious help. She tells that to Kyle. Kyle is just listening intently, and that is where the episode ends. Just wow. Wow. That was a riveting 10 minutes, and next week is the finale. Unfortunately, y'all, I'm not going to be able to film because I'm in London, but I'll definitely get to it as soon as possible. But yeah, I do understand that what Kathy did was wrong. If she said a slur, that was even worse. But until we get irrefutable proof on that, then it's just hearsay. Y'all let me know whose side y'all on, because that was something. She insulted Kathy 3 times, and Kyle didn't say nothing. And I see what Kim and Kathy be talking about. Anywho, y'all, I'm sure this review is long enough. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all for Salt Lake City. Bye.